I think that the overriding point that we're making, no, not that anyone wants anyone to punch anyone in the playoffs, but there is a degree, the softening of the game, a lot of it comes from the constant complaining to the officials, the constant whining, the constant selling
Michael Jordan didn't complain to the officials.
Michael Jordan,
Larry Bird didn't. Come on, guys.
He wasn't selling calls
this nostalgia that you have for the 80s and 90s, like a great era of basketball. It's awesome. But it's at the expense of our generation of players, and it has been for the last 15 years. And it's annoying. That's annoying, Stephen.
That is a joke. That is a joke. You got to be clear. It's an absolute joke.
You know it's not true, man.
It's not true. It's not true. Today, at the expense of today's players.
But the players in the 90s didn't complain. Gary Payton didn't complain.
Nobody said they didn't complain.
Come on, man.
We all know. We all know that Jordan complained. We all know that Magic complained. That's where you lose your argument. You can't find people that said Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and others didn't complain. Magic Johnson and them were complaining all the time
just said
about
our generation of players complains, and that's
nobody said that.
Those guys didn't complain on
nobody
literally
said that.
Every single play when they did or didn't get a call. They also weren't selling.
Did you watch the Spurs dynasty? You're telling me Tim Duncan didn't complain all the time?
Well, that was a lot more recently than we're talking about.
That was the 90s.
Second of all, well, I mean, the dynasty really was in the 2000s.
And when he did, we complained about him complaining.
Huh? I didn't hear that.
When he did complain, we complained about him complaining. We told players stop whining back then, too.
There's also
so why should y'all be absolved from it?
The whole concept.
I'm not saying we should be absolved from it. I'm saying the standard that you guys have set, this nostalgic standard that you've set for players in the 80s and 90s, and then comparing us to it all the time, like we are a substandard to that, it gets annoying. And a lot of your arguments, like complaining to the officials, that's the same thing that players did back then. And if you want to watch finals games that are 75 to 72, by all means, have your nostalgic era, please.
No. The nostalgic era that we're talking about, that we're lamenting, is not players complaining. Not me, anyway. What I'm saying is that the officials shouldn't be looking to tee up people and eject dudes just for getting in each other's face when obviously there's no fisticuffs taking place. And that's a problem. What are you talking about?
They did in game two. They did in game two.
Not in game two, right. I thought we were talking about the game. I didn't thought we were talking about game two now. I thought we were talking about the overall old era compared to now. That's where I thought you were when you brought up the other names.
The point is, they have made a lot of changes in the sport.
We comprehend what you're saying.
I'll see you in like an hour.
I'll see you. Are you sure? Are you sure? You going to be ready?
I'm ready.
You going to be ready?
10:55. I'll see you at 10:55.
All right. Nobody's scared of you.
I'm not scared of you either.
I'll see you at 11 o'clock.
Stephen has his sleeves rolled up.
I wish I was there.
I'm going to have to jump in here like an official. I'm going to have to tee up both of you.
Damn, I've never seen JJ Redick get so mad before. It is nice having a player on there that's willing to defend the current generation of players, because a lot of the old guys like to hate on them for no reason, and that includes the media as well. But in this case, I actually do disagree with JJ Redick. The players absolutely complain way more, but it's not their fault though. It's the rules. There are plays in today's NBA where there's contact on one end, they call a foul, and that same exact contact happens a minute later and they don't call the foul. Some guys get free throws when they kick their legs out, and other guys get called for an offensive foul. The rules make no sense, there is misinterpretation on every other play, the commentators don't even know what's going on half the time, and then when they review the play, sometimes we still don't know why that call was made in the first place. So if I were playing in today's NBA, I'd complain a lot too. Back then, they just let the guys play basketball. You could hand check, you could get a lot of physical contact in, and they wouldn't call the foul. But nowadays, they call fouls on everything, and they change the rules from year to year, so it gets harder and harder for the refs to officiate the game, and it gets harder for the players to understand what's going on. So of course they're going to complain more, especially when you add challenges and all these dumb reviews that they do. We don't even know when they're actually supposed to review the call versus when they're not, because that changes every single year too. I remember they used to do it in the final 2 minutes, and now you have to use a challenge in the final 2 minutes. It doesn't make any sense. So if you're Stephen A. and Greeny, and you just see a bunch of players complaining all the time, it is true, you're going to get frustrated, especially when you're used to guys just playing basketball. But from a player standpoint, the game has never been officiated this way. The game is played super fast to encourage offense, which makes it really hard to play defense, and that's another complaint they often have. But you don't think Giannis and LeBron would be great defenders in the 80s and 90s if they could hand check and actually play some damn defense? Of course they would, but they can't. Everything is a foul. So if everything is a foul, and the game is always being stopped, the players are just going to complain more, especially when it's the NBA Finals and they don't want to foul out of a game. But let me know in the comments, what do you guys think of this? And that is all I have for this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more NBA content just like this. And I will see you in the next upload.